What did what's the headline? Died trying to ride a turtle. What's the turtle's name? Uh, Good luck. Okay,
Potato turtle or turtle potato?
pretty much. Hello, everyone. And save changes. Okay, hello, everyone. Tonight we are talking about one of my favorite movie series, and the first of it is The Hunger Games.
Oh goodness,
No,
did we
as
go live?
yeah, we're live.
Oh, lovely.
We only went live a second
Warn
ago.
me before you
So,
do things like that.
Oh, girl, you should know him. He's just like, and here we go. And then you'll just be talking shit. And then he's like, hey, everybody.
okay. So as you can see, we're all from different districts, and sadly, Rennie took me out. I died first.
You're in
Anywho,
District 12. You're a peasant, anyways. Nobody's going to miss you.
Peasant.
I'm a roast peasant. Anyway, so moving on. So basically, to give it an outline, the book is essentially about living in Texas. Well, no.
Oh, no, you didn't. That would be more like Arkansas. Okay.
You okay, Darko?
No, that's
Oh.
Chicago.
Okay, so bit of a backstory. About 75 years before the events, there was a rebellion on Panam. Where's Panam? Somewhere in America. Where's America? Apparently in France. So it then there was rebellion, and basically as a reminder that the government, led by the president, selects one person from all 12, used to be 13, 12 districts, and then makes them fight to the death as a penance. So I just watched the movie earlier on, and Old Man Gamer, you actually brought up some like strategical points that you were talking about.
Yeah, I rewatched it earlier this evening too, and as a reminder, trying to refresh my memory.
Yes.
And from a strategic standpoint, I changed my little tag there. The Hunger Games are the original Fortnite. Is when they start off, there's the scene where they're going to grab the weapons, and so you have 24 people all running towards their weapons. Well, that's a death match. You're not going to survive unless you're one of the fastest people. So the correct strategy would be to run to the woods.
Yeah.
And in rewatching tonight, I'm like, wait, did they both run to the woods, or did one of them run? And
she ran and grabbed the backpack.
She grabbed the backpack. She kind of hesitated, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go for the backpack. So I like that strategy, and I'm glad I rewatched the film because I wasn't clear if they both did or if only one of them ran to the woods right away.
Have you guys heard that rumor that people think that Hunger Games is a ripoff of Battle Royale?
Yes, I've heard that.
I don't know if it's a ripoff, but I could understand that.
Because it's a similar premise, right? I want to say, what is it? An old Japanese movie? I haven't seen it in forever.
You're not. I was going to say you're not going to tell me you haven't seen Battle Royale.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Oh, any of you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Of course, I've seen Battle Royale. Have you not seen my friends? They're weebs. Of course, I have.
I mean, every once in a while, you get like these weird gaps in. I mean, Nadia's the horror queen, and she hadn't seen Alien.
That I don't understand.
Yeah.
I saw it when I was a kid.
It's not a ripoff. It was the books came first. Like, it's not a ripoff. There's actually a term for it. I forget it is, where it's the same thing as when Ants and A Bug's Life were made at the same time. It is Hollywood only has 4 ideas, man.
I haven't seen Battle Royale. I just had to check because I wasn't sure.
It's pretty.
So to answer Go's
brutal.
question, I have not seen it.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal. It's like, yeah. And it's about kids like kind of fighting to the death as well. So,
yeah.
Well, but the background and the basis and everything else are totally different, though. I mean, the only thing it has in common is kids fighting to the death.
Yeah. Well,
ages are different, style is different, setup is different, background is different, reasons are different, ending is different.
Well, it's
Mhm.
kind of like the Divergent films too, right? I mean, kind of the same mentality, even if we're not talking about the same age
Oh yeah,
group.
but
Well,
now
that yeah.
I
No,
know this is from the second one because for some reason these are the only ones that don't. You have to admit the costuming in these movies, like when they're there, is absolutely like I love the costumes.
Hmm.
Honestly, Bubba, when you get back, if you're watching this, buddy, you need to wear more of this. But yeah. So now, Rue. Let's start off by talking about the little dipshit. I mean,
Wait a minute. Are we just jumping straight into the middle of the movie?
I got different. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, we find out that it's Reaping Day, right?
Hmm.
But what we already see is we see Katniss Everdeen, because you
Hmm.
know the names are weird now. So Katniss, what's the boyfriend's name? The friend who she friend
Gale.
zoned. Thank you.
Gale. Yeah.
So Gale and her, they sneak out past these lines that you're like the fences that you're not able to go through, and she's hunting a deer, but she hasn't caught on. It's the first deer that she's only seen in a year, which to me is either they're on a migration path or else the deer are going extinct. What do you think?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've already jumped way past the first point thing I wanted to bring up, but
Go ahead.
so this is the first thing that I noticed when I started looking at like the book first. So first of all, this came out at the same time as Twilight, and
Yeah.
they wanted the Twilight crowd, and so they twisted this movie to be Twilight. So the whole
I don't
Gale,
see that at all.
How
The
I
so?
read the
I
books and
didn't see
watched
that
the
either.
movies as well
the whole
on
Gale Peta
Twilight.
thing doesn't
No.
happen in the books.
Well, no, it kind of does. Well, oh, okay, I
No.
got you. No,
No,
but
she-
Gale does have feelings for Katniss. Katniss just doesn't
But-
really return those feelings. She likes
She-
Peeta, or she loves Peeta. She's never
No,
really
she
had.
doesn't. In the first book, she never has feelings for Peeta.
Well, no, in the first book
And
she
Gale-
doesn't, but in the second
Mm.
one she starts feeling it. But there's never any.
She feels
know.
guilty in the second book.
Yeah, she feels bad, but
doesn't-
she's not in love with him.
Yeah, she never feels anything other than guilt, really.
Yeah,
And
so I don't
Gale-
see how that's Twilight.
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that the movie made it Twilight. The movie
Mm.
makes it a romance thing, so that you're doing the whole Team A or Team B. In the book, there's no feelings.
Well, but she has no feelings at the
thinks
beginning
that
either. It's later into the
Yeah.
film that when they're kind of like forced together, that like in the cave and everything. So is
Yeah.
that kind of accelerating
She's-
what you're describing in the book, but you have a movie, so you have to condense it in 2.5 hours?
Yeah.
Wait, say
I
that. I'm
think
sorry. Say that
so.
again.
That what you're saying is true, except the movie does address it. She doesn't have feelings for him. In fact, she's kind of an afterthought even to him when he's tossing the bread where the pigs are.
Yeah.
They're forced together by circumstance, and then you see feelings. So I think you're right, but the movie has to address it in a shorter format
Yes.
in 2.5
Yeah.
hours.
Well,
So I'm saying you're right, but only to a point.
There's a whole bunch of issues, all of which change the entire perspective of like the book versus the movie. So first of all, very first scene in the book or in the movie, Prim wakes up from a nightmare and Katniss comforts her. So this immediately shows us as Katniss being comforting and caring and caretaking to her sister. In the book, she wakes up and she's alone because Prim has had a nightmare and gone to her mother. And it specifically says because Prim doesn't turn to her for comfort.
Okay.
Because she doesn't do that kind of thing. She doesn't like emotions. She's not comfortable. She's kind of an outcast in her own family. She was daddy's girl and daddy's gone. And
Well,
so you end up with this very different setup. And in the book, it's all first person present tense. So you are Katniss, and you are living the Hunger Games. And if you look at it, the entire book is written from I think, I do, never I feel. So you get to feel your own feelings as you are doing and thinking things.
But in the movies, they can't show you what she thinks.
Right.
I understand that. And honestly, I think it never should have been made into a movie because you could never capture it quite right.
I mean, I think they did fairly well from
They did,
you know
like,
what
the
they were
movie-
able to do. And what's her name was actually a part of the production the whole time, the writer. So I don't know. And I honestly, as much as I detest Jennifer Lawrence nowadays, I thought she was a perfect Katniss
Back then,
Everdeen,
she was-
to be
Yeah,
back
honest.
then,
I was gonna say-
she's
I was
not a
gonna say
girl
the other
boss.
thing
She fits the role. Her character is
Yeah.
completely believable in this film.
Yeah.
I was going to say the other thing I don't think it is, because the other thing is it's the Hunger Games, and no one ever looks very hungry. Like,
Well,
everyone
the
always
bride
looks
that-
very well fed.
well, yeah,
Um,
but yeah, if you listen in the movies to the dialogue, right? She says, "You'll get milk from your goat, sell that on the black market. You then see in the black market the place is covered in food."
Yeah.
In the black
Mhm.
market. She's then hunting a deer. What were you going to do? I was going to sell that to the peacekeepers on Reaping
but see,
Day.
there's no deer in the book either. They make a comment once that she and Gale between them have only ever managed 2 deer
Okay.
in
Well,
like all of the years.
Yeah.
The reason the scene with Peeta is so traumatic is that she's like 10 or 11. Well, both of them actually are like 10 or 11 when that happens. Peeta gets beat up by his mother when he's 10 to throw her a loaf of bread. Like that's so much different than getting beat up she's 20. She was 20 when she made the movie. She's supposed to be 15, I think, in the book.
I think 16. Is it 16?
16. Okay.
I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've read the books, but I thought I remembered her being 16 in the first Hunger
Well, that
Games.
sounds about right. I knew it was somewhere right in there. And she's 10 or 11 when that incident happens, and she's on the verge of starvation. Her sister would be 6 or 7 and is dying. And that just doesn't have the same impact when what you're showing is a 15-year-old girl being played by a 20-year-old woman.
She looks younger though in the first film.
who looks-
I don't disagree with what her age is, but until
Really?
you told
I
me
didn't
that,
think so. I did
actually
not think
thought
she looked
thought she
15.
looked 17 or 18. Quite frankly, in the first film.
Oh my God, Jacob, that comment. That's amazing. The real Peeta would hate you. Just so you know, they would hate you so much for that. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah.
No, I don't think you're wrong. But I think they try to address it in as brief a fashion as they can. Again, like the throwing the bread to the pigs. You're understanding the hunger issues, and then like Potato said, they're getting around it, like hunting for the deer, and her telling her sister, milk the goat and sell the cheese in the black market. So they're adjusting.
And in the movies, because they can't have everyone walking around starving, looking like they're starving, because they couldn't do that to the actors. Hey Tim, good to see you, man.
I mean, if they can use
they
CGI to
could-
put a whole bunch of
They
muscle,
can use
if they can
They
use
makeup,
CGI to
all
put a whole
kinds of
bunch of
things.
muscle on Marvel characters, I don't see why they can't use CGI to take.
But
some off.
the Hunger Games didn't have
Even
the-
just makeup. I mean,
What was that,
you
Jacob?
look at
But
even if you
there
use
are
makeup.
things they could have.
I mean,
There are
there's
things they
movies
could have
that-
done. I mean, they could have gotten younger
Yeah.
actors to do the flashback scene to make it more impactful. That these were like they were really, really children when that happened.
Yeah. But how you also have to see how excited she got when she saw bread. And that was just simple bread. Like with Peeta being a baker, then that means that they're not getting the bread that he's making. That bread is going somewhere else. So they are they are hungry, but they're not as hungry as the books is portraying. But they are still hungry because when she went onto the train in the movies, she was enamored not by the train but by the food.
Right.
Like, if you're not hungry, you're not going to be enamored by the food, unless you're like a badass. But she's not. Like, but she was enamored by the food.
I think what I'm getting at is that the movie really softens the impact of the book a lot. I mean, they skip most of Haymitch's stuff, I think, because they, didn't want a family movie where you've got a guy who's drunk and vomiting everywhere.
Yeah,
I
you
will
know,
say
they want to
feel-
call it the Hunger Games, but they don't want to show anybody actually being hungry. They actually downplayed how much she's enamored of the food, and I think it's because it simply wouldn't be believable considering she obviously wasn't really starving.
So I don't know. I
They
I can
they
see what
skip
you're
all of
saying.
this. They skip all of the scenes where she almost dies of thirst. They PETA doesn't come nearly as close to death in the movie. Like, they toned it down a lot. And again, I think it was because, they really wanted to focus more on the relationship and the romance and the which is weird because, like, I get that it was supposed to be a family movie, but it was also a kid's book.
yeah.
And yet somehow that got it was
Well,
fine.
it's-
It was fine for a
kid's
kid's
book,
book, but it
put
wasn't fine
into-
for a kid's movie.
No,
But
it's
you
not.
have to understand it's different to use your imagination versus actually seeing it. So it's like, let's say that, they wrote some lusty scenes in there, which they wound up doing a little bit later in the books. They weren't too bad. Do you think that they're going to show like Katniss getting like, getting a little nookie? Like I don't really think so. And same thing with the violence, right? First of all, it's a PG-13 movie tops, or else it's not going to make the sales, right? Because Deadpool and Wolverine is just one of those like rare occasions where an R-rated movie makes like that kind of money.
Yeah,
It's just
because
not
Hollywood
typical.
does not take
But-
chances on R-rated movies. And while you're describing that, if they went pure and simple for the books, they're going to have a Game of Thrones level budget with an
Yeah.
R-rated to 18s level movie. They're going to then have to hire actors and who have them willingly to lose weight, which in nowadays and age, like what with other actors, yeah, they could use CGI, but then you have complaints about people overusing CGI. Then the actors, when they lose enough weight to become anorexic, to get back up, that might damage like their bodies. Plus, they're probably on other roles right now. When they would get it, like they feasibly couldn't do it. Plus, they didn't have that big of a budget. The first movie was what, 75 million.
Yeah,
Right?
78 million.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look at the amount of like big actors and upcoming actors that they were using, the amount of CGI they used, the sets and everything like that, the money that they had was actually well spent, but they didn't have enough money. Like, and the CGI in 2000, what was it, 2000 and that? They don't have the Disney money.
It wasn't what it is now.
No.
We'll just say that quality wise. It wasn't
I
what
think-
it is now.
And they don't have, and those muscles on the superheroes.
They didn't have to be starving, though. I mean, they do say that the people in 12 are better fed than most.
Yes, but
They just had
but
to
they
not
are
be
shown.
quite so.
No, but they're showing them true. They're showing it like that true how enamored they are, like by the food. Like that's like you will like when you see it, you see her there like touching the food, looking at it. The camera's panning to all the food because, like by
Yeah,
itself.
they are enamored with it. Yeah, you see
Yeah.
both their faces, and so you get the effect of it again in a short period of time. I don't disagree with Goat, but you're going to have a longer film. This first film is already 2.5 hours.
Mhm.
So
Exactly.
to get what you're talking about, and I'm not opposed to it because I saw all the Lord of the Rings films, but now you're talking Peter
But-
Jackson level, 3 hours, 3.5 hours. There's
But
already
see, I don't
4
think
films.
so. Because they changed things that
I agree
if
with
they
you, but
had
I'm saying
left them, if they
Yeah.
had left them the same, would have gotten the point across better.
No,
Well,
but
they
I think
don't
you're
even-
talking about a much
They
longer
don't.
film.
They don't
I
even. They
disagree
don't
with you, but
even
I think it's a
include the
longer
goat,
film.
for goodness sakes.
Yeah.
Now, like in saying that, right? So for instance, Haymitch, Woody Harrelson's character, supposed to have black straight hair, right? And be like super pudgy and stuff like that, right? And I can't picture anybody but Woody Harrelson playing him though. He played
He
a
did an
perfect Haymitch
absolute-
for
He
me.
did it
I
right.
loved him
He's
as
spot on.
Haymitch.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, because I read the books first, and I was like, when I saw the commercial, I'm like, oh, weak. And then like, or the trailer, and then I saw the movie, and I was like,
So
okay, I really like him as Haymitch now.
yeah,
So
okay. So I'm going to talk about, because I haven't read the book, so I'm going to talk about movie Haymitch. Well, I liked the movie Haymitch because going up until he saw her in the training, like that's when his mind, you could see his mind started to change after like she shot the arrow. But when she was trying to save Peter, when like what she did with Rue, you could see him like getting her stuff to like the water, the soup later on. Like, what do you call that, a kiss? Right? He is watching her, but as well as that, to get those, he is in the background, and you see that through a clip. Is hey Bubba, welcome. Is he is there, getting her backers, getting her votes. He is after changing. Like, he is no longer basically just like an alcoholic. Yeah, he is still like string, but you can see even the way he dresses is much better at the end. He's more, like cleaner, like looks cleaner. He's getting his shit together. By the end of the first movie, it's not completely, but as well as that, there is aspects of what you can see later on coming up being put in the first movie. The rebellion was sparked when Rue died, right? That was the spark of the rebellion. But the building blocks of the rebellion is already there. You can tell and see by the people who are there. By like the capital is, she's there when fuckface with the makeup on it. I forget her name.
oh, are you
Wait.
talking about the one that draws the names?
Yeah, when she
I
goes
talking
forget
about
her
Ellen.
name. What's that?
Elsie.
Talking about Effie Trinket.
Thank
There
you.
you go.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
when Effie's on the stage, right? They're showing the movie, and she's like, "Oh, I love that part." But if you watch her, she's mimicking along to the movie. It's all just like pageantry. She doesn't love the movie. She don't care about the movie. She's there to do a job. She don't care. She just wants to leave again. Her main priority was when the knife got stuck into the table. She screamed, "That is mahogany." So her priority is not the people. It's just like
Wait.
the
She has the memory. She has the movie memorized, and you think she doesn't care about it?
Yeah, she don't care about the movie. She's been there so many times. She's heard the movie so many times. She has it memorized. Like, because if you look, she had her head down. She had it memorized. She was speaking the
Yeah, she has her eyes closed and she's smiling as she recites along.
propaganda. I've seen people doing that many times. It's like, so she knows her
Yeah, I've
place. And
seen
then,
people do it too. Usually when they're singing along with a song they like.
Well, it can go both ways. It's kind of like when you watch when you watch something with your children so freaking much that you can recite it by heart, versus when you enjoy something so much you recite it by heart. And I guess the debate here is which camp Effie Trinket falls into for the Capitol.
well, at this point, she is like pure and simple, like full on, like for the capital. Because she don't get turned on till later on. But that's in my opinion. I don't know. Does it say something different in the books?
I mean,
About
I don't
Effie?
think she
No.
ever becomes part of the rebellion.
No, she was never part of the rebellion. That was just spoiler alert. At the end of the third book, that Katniss went out of her way to save her, like from being grouped in with the bad guys.
I don't
Well-
think she ever becomes part of it, but she does sympathize and she wishes she could help, but she's afraid to participate for fear it's going to cost her her life.
Yeah, no,
so
but
that's
she does
never
give up.
participates.
But she does even give up her face paints and everything, because that's
because
not
she
makeup.
has
That-
to. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's just but that's just me.
Because when she's in District 13, she doesn't, she isn't able
Oh, yeah.
to wear
have
it.
them.
So
Oh, fun fact: the actress who plays Rue grows up to be the twat from Star Wars Acolyte.
I'm sorry, say that
You
again.
know, I could have went my whole life without knowing that.
Didn't
act-
watch it, so I don't know.
I didn't hear what she said.
The
What he
actress,
said.
the actress who plays Rue grows up to be the woman from the Acolyte who's going around complaining about everyone.
Oh yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, I thought she was pretty terrible as Rue too. So you know,
Well,
I
yeah.
didn't think she was a bad Rue.
No,
but,
no,
like,
she-
I don't know.
She
She was
wasn't
just a
good.
kid.
For the record, I've seen the movie one time, but there was a parallel drawn between Rue and Primrose. Like that was kind of the whole point. Like, you know, the
Yes.
whole reason she ended up in the games was because of her sister, and then she gets there and finds a little girl that reminds her of her sister.
That's right.
Yeah.
And she
Yeah.
feels like she needs to take care of her because she reminds her so much of Primrose. Yes. Good. Good memory, Bubba. So-
Yeah, like she Rue in the movies she's very smart. Like she knows where she has to go, and like she's very crafty because you saw her in the training. She stole the knife, and they're like, "Where's my knife? Where's my knife?" When the different teams were fighting each other, but she was already up in the ceiling, which means she got the knife, got down, got up, climbed around without being seen. Then in the movies, when she was in the actual games, she spends most of her time in the bushes and in the trees, like above everyone's like field of view. And the only time when she does come down to burn the food is when she gets killed.
Mm.
yeah. The fact that she says during their interviews, like she basically tells them what her skills are,
Mhm.
whereas in the book she's basically refuses to say anything because she doesn't want to give her secrets away, which is much smarter.
Yeah, but from the movies point of view, it's all about you need to sell yourself, and everyone with their skills are trying to sell themselves, and they're like, they told Peter to not show his skill. The only one who told Peter to show his skill was Katniss, and then he threw the medicine ball, and
Yeah.
then he
Also
got
doesn't happen in the book.
yeah. But then he turns around and he gets 8 backers from that. But yeah, like she is crafty, like she is a sweetheart. But like her parallels to Katniss' sister is evident. But not only that, she is also the spark that lit the flame of the rebellion. Because after her death, District 11 goes up in flames. Peaceful protesting, but it goes up in flames.
Yeah, I don't think that happens. There's no rebellion at all until book 2. It
I didn't say
actually
it was-
is the reason. It's actually Katniss that starts the rebellion in District 11, and it doesn't happen until book 2.
But the sparks of the rebellion are clear to be seen. I'm just saying from
They are.
yeah, like look at like Rue died. Yeah, her dad went off. Her dad went over and started attacking the peacekeepers. Then the entire crowd went and they attacked the peacekeepers. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that's the rebellion. I'm saying that's the start of like the mentality, the feeling, the yearning is there.
Yeah, the match was lit.
Right.
Yeah.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that realistically, under the scenario they've been under the world they've painted, book 2 should never have been able to happen the way, or movie 2 should never have been able to happen the way it happens, because they should have just stomped all of District 11 right then and there.
But you also have to think about at the time, because to them they're like they would have stomped District 11. Yes, I'll give you that. But what did District 11 do? How much damage did they do? They just did one area. The entire district did not rise up against the government. It's just a few people, and you saw in the movies they did come down with the peacekeepers with their guns. They did stomp them out. They killed the crowd. They opened
He's just
fire.
saying it was easier for the Capitol to keep it quiet than to cause
Yes.
an all-out situation.
Yeah.
Except
'Cause they
that the districts are required to all be present for those things, which means that was the entire district would have seen that.
Then how do you explain everyone's opinion of where District 13 went?
What do you mean?
District 13. It was a district. You said
District-
that.
Oh no, no,
District
she's saying that your entire district is supposed to be present during
get
those
demolished.
during
Yeah.
those yeah.
Yeah, but like it's obvious because in later movies, and I know this didn't happen in the book. In later movies, we do see District 11 again, and there are other people going around. But that crowd who was there, was fired out. Now we don't know how many died, but like the peacekeepers did open fire on the crowd, but they.
Right, I understand that, but in a government where they have said very specifically, it's only been 75 years since the last uprising. They are murdering children on a yearly basis to try and prevent another uprising. The president says during the movie that he is worried about another uprising, and then
Which means
District 11 has signs of an uprising. They would have stomped that entire district into submission, and the second movie never could have happened.
okay, but
Unless he was already starting to lose his political grip among his rivals in the capital.
Mhm.
He never
Yeah.
loses his political grip, though, until
Not
the
on the
very, very
surface.
end.
Not on the surface, but the books do a better job, obviously, than the movie of explaining, any kind of dissent, and not that any of them were virtuous or righteous. They just, that they had designs of their own. It's just there were other politicians that would have, taken control from him if they could have.
Mm.
There's there's the guy who goes on to become the new games master.
Yeah.
But as far as the rest of the people in the capital, they fight pretty much to the last man once the Civil War actually breaks out.
Yeah. Now, what year does this take place, and how far? Because, like, there is a huge contrast between the technology. Like, you see them; they have flying ships, right? They got like medicine that can heal you instantly, versus the districts where people are barely scraping and like going by. Because the capital has all this amazing technology. But everyone else, they've got hints of the technology. Their televisions are holograms. Right? But, yeah. Like,
was there a question? I got confused.
I don't know. I do need to ask a question. Are we supposed to
go
be
ahead.
talking about the movie or the books? Because I'm really confused right now.
Yeah.
well, I originally wanted to talk about the movie and then, like, part of
Okay.
the books, but we got
Okay, I'm
the-
just confused. I just want to make sure. I was like, did I come in with the wrong impression? I'm sorry. I just like
No.
clarity.
Yeah, no, we.
No, I
did
just
get-
made it. I just told him that, my point on all of these things always ends up being, the book is better.
Mhm. Well, I
No,
mean,
no, I
that's
figured that
typically
out.
the case, but there's not much we can do because it's hard
But
to adapt stuff.
But in this
you know?
the
in
only-
this particular case, when I did the rewatch, I was like, man, I had forgotten how much the movies really totally missed the point of the
Well,
books.
Rini, all that Goda's saying is that the movies don't tell enough of the backstory to explain how they went from one to the other. She's saying that if you take the premise of only the movie without the book at all, then the second movie should never have even happened. That's what got us on this side tangent.
Okay.
Yeah, just that the movie doesn't make a whole lot of sense without some of the.
I don't know.
book stuff.
I disagree with that, but hey, to each their own. We all have different thought
Well,
processes.
the premise
and,
of the second. The premise, I know why you're saying like they should have stamped it, but what I'm saying is the premise of the second one is going to be for another stream if I do it. You get me? like where we can talk
Right, but
about.
I'm saying it's the stuff they miss in this one that affects the next one.
No, and I
Yeah, it's
definitely
stuff that they,
understand.
yeah. No,
Because I think when I watched the movies after reading the books, I was like, they left this out and this out. But you would be none the wiser if you never read the books. You can put two and two together. Was it done as well? Probably not. But at the same time, there's still, the main points are still conveyed. And the characteristics of the characters are still pretty good. I don't know. I couldn't see anybody but Liam Hemsworth as Gale. I love him as Gale, and I love
well, you
Jennifer
just love
Lawrence
the
as
Hemsworth.
Katniss. Oh well, he is a bit of a cutie, but no, no, he's a great Gale, and I was like,
I
you
thought-
know what? He's
Well,
perfect.
I'll tell you, Woody Harrelson as Haymitch was as good as Richard Harris as Dumbledore. Like he played
Yes,
the perfect
Yeah.
Haymitch.
Yeah,
Like,
he did.
right,
He did
yeah.
a great job. I do think the PETA casting was bad. I do not think.
I really like Peter. Like,
yeah, I actually liked him. At first when
I
I
thought he
saw
was
the
terrible.
trailers, I was like, yeah, I don't know. And then as I was getting into the movie, he got better and better, and I liked his social awkwardness because Peter was
Mhm.
socially awkward, and so he goes from being like very closed up and shy to a little bit more open and trusting
he's-
Katniss a little tiny bit more, and I
he's
thought that was
shy.
really sweet.
He's shy with Katniss, but he's never shy otherwise. And he
Well, that's
doesn't
because he
look
had a crush on her, though, right? I think that's
right.
why.
But that's what I'm saying
Yeah.
is that I don't know why they made him socially awkward.
because
to
he
just-
did a competition where every single person, from his point of view, including Candace, and they do state this in the movie, that this does happen at this point with every single team, that basically Candace are going to have to kill each other. At this point, at the beginning, from his point of view, he doesn't know until the end of the movie, right? That they're not going to kill each other, that they're going to get out of this together. He doesn't know that. So throughout the entire thing, in the back of his mind is Katniss is going to turn on me. Katniss is going to have to kill me.
Yeah, why would she save me? What does she care about me? I'm nothing to
So
her.
why? So
Yeah,
of course he's
so-
awkward. To him, there's always a knife at his throat.
I mean, I'll be
But-
honest with you guys. If I had to fight with 11 other people for my life, do you think I'd trust any of them? Absolutely not. I don't care how nice you are to me. You're just
Yeah.
going to try to win the competition, which means I have to be taken out.
Yeah,
So I don't
23
trust
other
you.
people. 23 other people.
Oh,
There's
that's
two
right.
from each district.
It's
Yeah.
2 per district. You're right.
Yeah.
I apologize.
Technically 24 because she has to fight her own partner from her own district.
Well, no, it's 24 people total, but she's
Yeah,
fighting
sorry,
23 other
23, yeah.
people. But I really
But he doesn't look like a baker's kid. I mean, there's a whole thing about
Okay.
he's really strong because he throws all these bags of flour.
Mhm.
But he doesn't look like a strong guy.
You can.
He is. I do like the fact that they do show the charm. The fact that he can be social and charming. When he waves when they're coming into the when they're first coming into the Capitol.
Yeah, he does
when
very
they're doing
well
the
in the
interviews.
interviews.
Mhm.
I actually think he was a better actor in the charming scenes than he was when they were trying to make him act awkward.
Because
I think maybe he was more naturally charming in real life.
possible.
Well,
I
but
don't
that
remember
actor,
what
that
he
actor
was
does
from.
sarcastic best, and he is not a sarcastic character. So,
The Five
you know.
Nights at Freddy's, which was actually quite good.
Mhm.
But yeah. But so what did she think of Snow in this?
I loved Donald Sutherland as
Oh,
Snow.
yeah.
God, he was a good Snow. He did that perfect. So, if I remember right, Snow kind of whisper talks, and he does it
Yes.
so maliciously and vindictively, you can feel it in your spine. And I loved that Donald Sutherland brought that. It was like, damn, this guy's supposed to be ruthless and evil, and he pulls it off so well,
Especially
does
at the
all
end
the
of-
tones perfectly. I just loved it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, especially at but especially at the end of the movie when those berries that Katniss was going to eat with Peter, that the games master walked into the room that he was locked into on in the presidential palace, and all that was in there was those berries, which like he obviously had to eat like off himself.
Yeah, and you don't get to leave until you eat them.
Yeah.
So
Now, Old Man Gamer, me and him were watching it, and he pointed out for some reason that Jennifer Lawrence kept getting an Irish accent every time she said the word Peter.
Yeah, it was hilarious when I was rewatching it. He seems to have, normal American English, and then she's running through the woods, and all of a sudden, like, oh, she's Irish now. Pita. And I'm like, when did this
Peter, come here.
start?
maybe she didn't know how to say it, or she was afraid like the organization PETA would find it offensive, so she tried to really distance herself. I don't know. It's just a long shot. I have no idea. So
Well, I mean, she had no examples to go off of. She was the first female, action movie star.
Bubba, you can get in the damn bin for that. No,
She's the first everything.
She said it.
I
Said
know.
it. I'm just making fun of her for it.
I feel like you're validating her point of view.
She does strike me as the kind of person that might actually worry about offending PETA, though.
No,
I think so.
She's
Like
got
for the
animals.
image.
Mm. But yeah,
Silence.
No, but to Rennie's point, she talked about Donald Sutherland.
Oh God, it's
he-
so good.
He exudes evil in this film.
Yeah,
I mean, just
he did
perfectly.
a very good job of this.
he absolutely did.
I think he might have been the best casting of the bunch, really.
Yeah,
I do kind of wish they'd given him snake contacts, though.
He was a different.
I'm still
a
going with
different
Woody
caliber
Harrelson, though.
actor.
Wait, what did Jacob say?
Yeah,
He was
what
a
did you
higher
say, Jacob?
caliber of. Donald Sutherland is a higher caliber actor.
Oh, definitely.
No
anybody
doubt,
else.
dude.
Snape, not Snape, damn Snake reference, but the Snow wasn't acting throughout it like a president. He was acting like an absolute monarch, like Louis Louis who got his
dictator.
head cut off. Yeah,
I saw him as a dictator and a fearless leader, so to speak, and it was terrible. And I would never want to live in that kind of society. That's why I'm like, if I have to pick a district, I'll pick District 1 because they were the favorite district of the capital and they had the jewels. So winning.
Actually, District 2 was the favorite because that's
Oh,
where the
that's right.
peacekeepers were trained.
That's right. But District 1 was closest to the capital.
yeah.
But still, I will take it.
Or maybe District 1 was the closest to the capital, but District 2 was the favorite of the government.
Could be.
I'd say it was favorite of the people because they do seem quite flashy, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That was so hilarious where like people actually got plastic surgery or permanent makeup or all this stuff, and it's like, oh, you
Yeah,
thought that looked good? Okay.
Wasn't
I
one of
thought that-
Snow's-
I thought the capital people looked awfully normal compared to what I had expected. They just I've seen runway outfits that looked weirder than some of the
I
capital
said
outfits
it
that had
Well,
been
yes,
costuming.
but I mean, because the way they describe them in the book is like if Dr. Seuss was like the architect for the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
very little plastic surgery. Very the haircuts
we've
weren't all
seen
that
more
crazy. They just had
plastic
really brightly
surgery.
colored clothes.
as the movie series does go on, we do see more plastic surgery. There is one of Snow's relatives who show up in the later ones, like during the rebellion, who's a cat.
Yes.
I think it could have had to do with budgetary reasons for the first movie. And since they didn't know if it was going
And
to be a
technology.
hit and weren't sure that they were going to be making more, they didn't want to overspend and stuff. So that would be my theory, anyways. And then as they got more and more popular, got more and more of a budget, more and more technology, they were able to show more of the eccentric side of the Capitol. Just my personal point of view.
Oh yeah, like the Capitol is it is an absolute. This is going to sound weird. The Capitol's a TV show. Like everyone in the Capitol is fake. Like they're all. There's something wrong in the Capitol. That
It'd be like the Kardashians were keeping up with us.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I jokingly said to Old Man Gamer, I said 2013 weird freaky hairstyle and everything like this. I said 2024 Democrat convention.
Mhm.
Oh. But
Yeah, I was surprised I was not surprised that they didn't show like the plastic surgery type stuff because like you said the budget was smaller. I was surprised that they didn't at least get more creative with the makeup. I mean, a high school student doing face paint could have like painted some lion faces on people or something.
Well, let's
mean,
face it, all of their budget kind of went into that dress.
Or I think in the actual Hunger Game part of the movie where they were competing, I think there was a lot of budget spent on that stuff. I did
Yeah.
enjoy like the parts of the movie where they showed like, people sending Katniss gifts once she started becoming more and more popular. I thought that was fun.
And as the Hunger Games went on, there was a lot of heavy, especially for the time and the non-Disney studio. There was a lot of heavy practical and CGI effects. You
Mhm.
had the fog, which that would have cost a lot to make.
Mhm. The poison
and-
fog, right?
Yeah, the entire control room was absolutely doused in CGI.
Hmm.
Like, then you had those animals. Those animals had to be rendered. They had to be controlled. They had to be motion captured. They had to be everything. Then
we
you
talking
had
about the mutts at the end?
yeah,
Yeah, the ones that were like made to genetically look like the fallen, like combatants.
Hmm.
Ugh. I don't think they did a very good job in the movie explaining that because if you're
That was
looking at them just,
that also
you know,
I think got kind of lost.
like I said, that was just like they just looked like wild dogs running up, like a generic warg,
yeah.
Yeah, and
Well, yeah.
I think they did not. I mean, one of the big things is that mutts were specifically designed to terrorize people. They weren't just designed to kill. They were specifically designed to like cause trauma.
Yeah, but what I was talking about was their like the budget. Like I'm saying that like those creatures were like heavy, like they were all CGI. Then you had like the pyrotechnics, like the trees and whatever like forest they were in. They had to rent that area, so like a lot of the budget did go to the Hunger Games itself.
I'm just saying, we need to host the Hunger Games on Jurassic Park. That'd be the perfect time to have the Hunger Games on.
I thought you were going to say on this channel. I'm like, oh God, I don't think I'd ever forgive myself for taking someone out on a live stream. So
Wouldn't it be called?
See, I could forgive myself for that quite easily.
I was gonna say, I on the other hand would be all over that.
the potato games.
The potato game.
Mr. Beast 2.0.
Oh.
You just see Rennie there wearing someone's face as a hat. But no, the guy from District 1 at the end of the
Mhm.
movie.
Kato?
Mhm.
Yeah. His freak out where he came to realization where like all of because every time you see him, it was this cocky twat. Right? Now at the end, he was like basically breaking down. Like he's like, I'm dead. Like I just realized that now that everyone we're dead as soon as we stepped in here. The games, they don't matter. We're dead. Like there's no
I mean, it thins
hope.
out the population, which is what they need if they actually do have finite resources, right? But it's
Yes.
just a gruesome way to do it.
Well, it's to psychologically terrorize and traumatize
The
the
people.
districts.
Well, to keep them in line. Yeah.
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 Well, but not just to keep them in line, but to do it in a way that, like, they're basically dependent on it. Like, the only way they survive is in the hopes that they might get that extra influx of food from somebody winning.
Hmm.
Well, that is one of the things that they do, because at the end, because in a minute we're going to like just wrap this up and chill, because like people have places to be and it's getting time and things like that. I made a promise to Rennie, and
Sorry.
no need to apologize. Promise is a promise. That basically when they win at the end of it, they're being given a lifetime supply of a free house and food.
Mhm.
Right? Now they have 2 people who are getting free houses and food. Not only that, people now see that if, let's say they do another Hunger Games, people are going to copy doing this. Like, this is going to be a thing where, like, multiple people are just going to be like, oh, let's, like, off ourselves together, and they're going to be, like, have to stop it. So,
Do they in the movies get into how Haymitch won and why he's a drunken loser?
They touched on it a little bit in the first
not
movie,
the
not
first
so
one.
much.
Yeah, no, yeah, and I've only read the books. I've only seen the first movie as far as the movies go, but that was an awesome story. Like I'll give you that was fucking incredible.
yeah. So,
Yeah, but
what?
sorry, go ahead.
No. Yeah, last point, and we wrap it up. Go ahead.
Oh, just they have ways of making sure that people don't game the system more than once.
Yeah. Okay, so, Lady Ram, is there anyone you'd like to show?
Yeah, as typical, you can find me on Mr. Brown Alliance on the panel on Sundays mainly, unless I can't be there, but I try to be there for Brown as much as I can. He's a good friend. Also, you can find me here from time to time, as well as on Ms. Martin Muse's channel. In the past, we did speak about books. If you're a Tolkien fan, Raymond Feist, or Terry Brooks fan, you will enjoy the book streams that we did there. And I believe I was on King Dolphins a couple times as well. So Raymond Feliciano is a very, very sweet person. So
Okay.
that's it for now.
Eclectic, anyone from you? Are you want to show yourself, or?
I don't actually. I think this is the last stream that I have booked for quite a while.
Oh, okay.
I am kind of
Okay.
hammering away at my current video for my channel, which is going to be on the history of stop motion, specifically kind of tied into Del Toro's Pinocchio.
Okay.
And I am also working on starting a new show inspired by this, actually, on The Book is Better, where I'll be comparing books and movies, and I also have a few authors lined up to come in and talk about their works.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
So,
yeah.
but that'll probably be a few months before I get that up and rolling. So,
Yeah. Lord Bubba?
Yes. Okay. So, first of all, I'm a massive Terry Brooks fan. I'm gonna have to come and join you guys over there at some point in time, Rennie. And yeah, no, the book is usually, I mean, we're talking 99.99% better. There are a few cracks to be slipped through, and my God, when that happens, it's tragic. But yeah, no, I am Geek Hero Bubba. You can usually find me if I'm not here on somebody else's channel, you know, giving off the, you know, this boisterous, blunt, flagrant gift of gab. I am over on X, where I constantly piss people off argue with them, rinse, leather, repeat. It's a wonderful existence. Helps me get through long shifts at work. Anyway, everyone have a nice week.
Nice. Jacob?
Monday I'll be on after the weekend. We'll be talking The Abyss. And
Nice.
Tuesday on my show, I'll be going over the movie The Untouchables.
Nice one.
Well, that's a good one. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then
Love
I
that
will
movie.
on Thursday I'll be on Roman the Empire's channel. Not sure what we're doing there. That's all I got.
Awesome. Gamer, what about you?
Immediately following this stream, I will be heading over to Rumble to join B-Sides. You can join me. They run till about midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. It's always a good time. I'll be in the chat.
They run ungodly late.
Yes. I am the occasional guest host, as Goat has also been on their channel. And Tuesday, we're gaming here. What game are we playing, Potato?
We are playing Jackbox.
And I'm excited about that. So I'll be here on Tuesday. And I also hang out in the chat on the Brown Alliance on Sundays and Wednesdays.
Awesome.
did you get
Oh.
the Jackbox idea from Chris Knight?
No.
Really? He
Yeah.
plays a lot of games on his channel. Sorry, I just had to ask.
No, I went on to Steam and I got my Steam fixed and I said, hey, I own 3 Jackboxes. Let's do Jackbox. So yeah.
It'll be fun.
Oh.
I love
Oh, it
playing that
will.
game. Yeah.
So please join us here on Tuesday, same time. Please go and check out For 15 Guard. He has the book because apparently he knows how to spell. Wonder what that's like. The Forbidding Chronicles. Please go check that out on Amazon. Go check out Sci-Fi Mombi. She's good people. Does a lot of streams all the time. In the day, in the evening, at night, whatever suits your life, floats your boat. Go check out Jet Sparks. Where are you, Jet Sparks? You're up here. Boop. There is his name. Jet Sparks 373. Please go check out him. Great guy. Does he's like focusing on writing at the moment. Does some like gaming streams. Does other things like that. So go and check him out. He has up a very good review on Deadpool, which I'll recommend. But yeah. So everyone, good night, God bless, and remember.
Yeah. What he's trying to say is, join us Tuesday, same tater time, same Spud channel.
Yeah, and remember, may the spuds be ever in your flavor.